Tonight on News 5 Live, the charge is murder by negligence, as Jasmine Harton appears in the San Pedro Magistrates Court following the death of Superintendent Jamaat. Teachers to return to class, land borders reopen to visitors only, and the leader of the opposition says his emotions got the better of him. These stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime, while with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
With the touch of a finger, we can easily unlock our phones and securely gain access to our data. This technology is called biometrics, and the Social Security Board is introducing fingerprint recognition to make transactions and handling of your sensitive data secure, fast, accurate, and convenient. Is your identity safe? Fingerprint recognition will keep your Social Security record secure and confidential while making your access fast and easy. It protects your identity. Is your name a common one? Fingerprint recognition uses your unique characteristics, ensuring your hard-earned benefits go directly to you, the rightful owner. Tired of all the paperwork? Fingerprinting makes this hassle-free. Your convenience and your information security is our priority. Fingerprint recognition coming soon. Social Security at your fingertips.
Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop increases productivity by 26%. Add a monitor and you'll be 35% more productive. At Fulltech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience. With devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands you trust. Keep connected with collaboration tools like Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky and perform efficiently no matter where you are. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Let the adventure begin with a bottle of Caribbean rum brought to you by Koyo's Distillery Limited.
Introducing Edam A Cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A Cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A Cheese at a supermarket near you. A Cheese, exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
Are you tired of poor customer service or products that don't live up to your expectations? Flex Electronics, centrally located in Spanish Lookout and Belmopan, is Belize's #1 source for mobile electronics since 2009. We carry the largest selection of mobile phones, parts, and accessories with prices you won't find anywhere else. We stand behind the products that we sell and offer a 60-day guarantee on all electronics. We are dedicated to offering the best customer service possible. Not from the area? No problem. We offer fast delivery service countrywide on most orders. Our online staff is ready to chat on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Pletz Electronics. Visit or chat online with us today and find out how we can best serve you.
Rain or shine, any weather. When we go ball, we go Berger. Quality paint, no faded colors. When we go ball, we go Berger. Let your imagination run free. Any color for this place, when we say ball, that mean it don't peel. Quality in every color, lifetime guarantee. When we go ball, we go Berger. When we go ball, we go Berger. Rain or shine, any color you need. When we go ball, we go Berger.
Want to leave a lasting impact when you travel? Then travel locally. Make memories to treasure for a lifetime while making a difference. Make protected areas your next travel destination. With over 25 protected areas under the APAMO umbrella, the possibilities for adventure and education are endless. You can bond with friends and family while trekking through the jungles to discover natural pools and breathtaking views. Or take that snorkeling trip to the magnificent world of coral gardens and marine life. Then camp under the stars to end off that perfect day in nature. By visiting protected areas, you are helping to preserve valuable plant and animal life. You're building local communities and you're keeping our natural and cultural heritage alive. You have that power. Travel locally and make an impact. We invite you to visit a protected area near you and discover the beauty of Belize's wild places. APAMO, the voice of Belize's protected areas.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, May 31st. I am Sabrina Daly. 3 days after the shooting death of Superintendent Henry Jamot on San Pedro, the main suspect, Canadian national Jasmine Hartin, was charged for his killing. Along with attorney Godfrey Smith, Hartin appeared before the magistrate where she was charged with manslaughter by negligence. While it is not known if she was being given special treatment or if it was simply procedural, around midday today, the media reps that were awaiting the arraignment were escorted off the compound. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Late this evening, 32-year-old Jasmine Hartin was arraigned in the San Pedro Magistrates Court for the charge of manslaughter by negligence for the shooting death of Superintendent Henry Jamot. The charge was levied following a directive given by the Director of Public Prosecutions this afternoon.
Our investigation team have completed the investigation, and the file is now with the Director of Public Prosecution while we await her instructions as to what charge or charges will be preferred against the accused person. May I say that contrary to what the social media experts and trial attorneys and prosecutors have been saying, that the accused woman remains in police custody until after we have gotten the directive. She will remain in custody until then.
Sir, are you able to tell us if the investigation is showing clear positive signs that an arrest can be made?
I am not going to comment on that at this time. As I said, we have completed our investigation and the file is with the DPP. I trust the competence of the DPP. We all know that she's an exceptional prosecutor and an exceptional DPP. And I am sure that after having looked at all the evidence that we have presented to her, she's going to come to the right decision in terms of how we proceed.
Harton has been in police custody since last Friday when the incident occurred. According to official reports, she and the deceased were on a dock in front of Mata Rocks Beach Resort south of the town when sometime before 1 a.m. a single shot was heard. A bullet from Jamaat's service weapon caught him behind the right ear. His body was discovered in the water beside the dock. Harton was found with blood on her clothes and hands.
She provided a statement under caution.
Sir, do police have a clear indication as to what happened that night in terms of the sequence of events?
We cannot say we have a clear understanding of what happened because we were not there. The only two persons who could have said that to us would have been the deceased and Miss Harton. You know that the deceased is dead. He cannot speak for himself. Dead man carries no tail. Miss Harton have given her version of what she said transpired.
Her arraignment today was not without challenges. Around midday, the media was removed from the second floor of the building where the public court proceedings would take place later this evening. We know that she is represented by attorney Godfrey Smith and that up to news time, arguments were being heard as to whether or not bail should be granted to Harton. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
At news time, the prosecutor and Harton's attorney were still before the judge discussing whether or not Jasmine Harton should be given bail. Harton is the former partner of resort owner Andrew Ascroft and the mother of his 2 children. During the weekly press briefing today in Belmopan, the first topic of discussion was the death of Superintendent Jamaat. Police Commissioner Chester Williams ran the briefing himself and spoke about the post-mortem, his updates to the family, and the investigation into the death at San Pedro.
The post-mortem revealed that the injury is not consistent with suicide and the manner of death is homicide, which means homicide simply means the killing of a human being by another human being. That is homicide. The issue that will have to be determined then is whether it is murder or manslaughter. Murder is the intentional killing of a human being by unlawful harm. And so one of the things that you'll have to prove for murder is that of intent. Manslaughter, on the other hand, is where you actually kill someone, but you have some, you call it partial excuse or partial defense in law that will reduce the murder to manslaughter.
Sir, last week you mentioned that Miss Jasmine Harton wasn't cooperating with police. Has she given police any valuable information for this matter to move forward?
Yes, she provided a statement under caution.
Sir, do police have a clear indication as to what happened that night in terms of the sequence of events?
We cannot say we have a clear understanding of what happened because we were not there. The only two persons who could have said that to us would have been the deceased and Miss Harton. You know that the deceased is dead. He cannot speak for himself. Dead man carries no tail. Miss Harton have given her version of what she said transpired. And so it's a matter now for the DPP to decide how we proceed.
Sir, so you're not at liberty to share what she said transpired?
No, I'm not going to go into the content of her statement. I spoke with them today. I met with the immediate family today, and I expressed words of condolences to them from the department and the ministry. And I also assured them that from a police standpoint, we're doing all we can to ensure that justice is received. I also gave them an update of the investigation as to where we are and what the accused person have said in her statement. I gave them some brief synopsis of that because I believe that as family members, they have a right to know what she have said and where we are with the investigation.
Sir, have they expressed confidence in the police to deal with this matter, perhaps just transparently?
Of course, they have no reason not to have confidence in the police's ability. Mr. Jemot was a police officer, and his family are people who have always been around police. As a matter of fact, he do have a sister who is also a police officer. Miss Marie Zul, she used to be in and out of the Dangriga police station. She worked very closely with us as a GAP. And so she, in particular, is fully aware that we will do what we should do to ensure that justice is received.
The commissioner would not comment on whether or not there was a possibility the gun involved was discharged by accident, or whether or not it may have been a case of self-defense. He says Superintendent Jemot's funeral has tentatively been set for June 12th in Dangriga. A family man was shot and killed in the West on Friday night. Police say that they believe he was targeted for his truck, which may have been taken across the border. News 5's Andrea Polanco was in Benca today.
49-year-old Wayne Cadle was shot and killed on Riverside Street in Benca Viejo town just after 9 on Friday night. Police responded to the scene.
Upon their arrival, they saw the apparent lifeless body of Wayne Cadle, 49 years, B-Call employee, lying on the ground in his B-Call uniform.
According to police, Cadle was driving his truck and made a stop on the street, and that's when the robbers attacked. He was shot dead on the spot and his truck was stolen.
What we know so far is that he arrived at that area shortly after 9 p.m. where he exited his vehicle and was approached by 3 Hispanic males, one of whom fired a shot in his direction, fatally injuring him. Thereafter, those 3 persons got in his white in color 4-ton pickup and made good their escape. We do believe that it was the vehicle because he had his other personal belongings on his person when he was found by the police.
Police say they're looking for 2 persons of interest, but they also haven't ruled out the possibility that the bandits may be from Guatemala, with suspicions that the truck could already be across the western border.
Police is seeking 2 suspects whom they believe can assist in the investigation.
So is the vehicle still missing, sir?
Yes, it is.
Is there a possibility that his assailants may be from across the border?
Could have been. That is a part of the investigation. And as you are aware that there are several other investigations involving the theft of motor vehicles in that area, as well as some robberies that were committed in Benca Viejo, where we do believe that some of those assailants are from across the border.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
Cadle resided in San Ignacio town and was a father of 4 children. He was employed with B-Call for the last 25 years. Belize officially reopened its borders today for international tourists. News 5's Andrea Polanco stopped in at the Benca Viejo Santa Elena border today to find out how the reopening was going.
Pictured here are 4 of the 5 tourists who entered Belize through its western border up to midday today.
We had our first 5 tourists that came across this morning. About 10:30, 11 o'clock they were through.
Did all 5 meet the requirements today?
They met the safety requirements. When they walked in, they did have their gold standard stay, but one of them did not have the gold standard transportation. So we explained to them that they cannot leave the place without a gold standard transportation. The BTB kicked in.
So to enter the country, the visitors must meet a number of requirements. Their first point of contact in Belize is with the Ministry of Health representatives. The tourists must have a negative COVID-19 test upon arrival, and then they go through a series of prevention protocols, from sanitizing hands to temperature checks, all the while keeping 6 feet apart as these markers indicate on the floor.
They walk in through the pedestrian walkway that we have that is also marked for the 6 feet separation. They are met and stopped by the health department. We call them screeners. We have 2 of them here that will ask the guests the appropriate questions, and as well to prove that they have the necessary requirements to enter into Belize. What are these requirements? First of all, they have to have a PCR test that should have been done 72 hours prior to entering Belize. If they have that and they're negative, then that's the biggest step to walk in. If they're allowed, if they have that PCR test without symptoms, they look all clear, the screeners will allow them to come to the immigration department.
And inside the halls, signs to remind tourists about COVID-19 safety protocols are visible on the walls. The cubicles are also refitted to make them safer for the workers with immigration and customs, after which visitors depart to gold standard operators.
When the immigration department picks them up, they will ask the questions like, do you have a gold standard hotel in place? Do you have a gold standard transportation in place? If they do, then immigration stamps them in, do all the legalities, and then they're sent to the customs department, where, again, the customs department does what they usually do when you come into the country. If they go through that right, they go outside the building where they will be met by their gold standards transport. Now, how will we prove if they're gold standards? First of all, they have to have a decal on their vehicles that show that they have been given the operation go-ahead by the BTB. We see that our staff does that, the Belize Border Management staff, and then they are given the okay if they have all the requirements, and then they're sent into the country.
But if tourists don't bring a PCR test, Ministry of Health has set up a testing site at the border. And if a tourist tests positive for COVID-19, they're not allowed in the country. While only a handful of tourists entered today, border authorities say it was successfully done.
You know, the process sounds like a lot, but it's manageable, it's doable, and we proved this morning that it can be done.
Today is quite slow. Of course, it's the first day. You perhaps anticipate that in the coming days, the coming weeks, it will probably pick up.
Well, I hope so. And when I say that in very good, very good way. I want Belize to get more tourism. I want Belize to get safe tourism, of course. Our nation needs the capital, Andrea. All right, and I think that's what the Ministry of Tourism is looking at, and you know it too, that we need spending money in this nation, and as long as we're super careful, we don't put our guard down, we're going to try our best to keep Belize safe.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
For those Belizeans arriving, they go through similar protocols, and if they test positive, they are quarantined at Clarissa Falls. According to Chief Tourism Officer Abil Castaneda, the threshold for recovery within the tourism industry globally is 40 to 50% of pre-COVID arrival numbers. Castaneda argues that Belize would fall short of that threshold by double digits if the land borders remained closed. He appeared on Channel 5's Open Your Eyes this morning.
In tourism, we are all looking at, how fast can we recover? And one of the things that we are looking at is that this year in 2021, the threshold for recovery for globally is that countries should reach around 40 to 50% of the pre-COVID arrival numbers as a part of the recovery process. What we have seen is that some countries are well on their way to that, but other countries, are falling behind. In regards to Belize, I see you just cut to the PGIA. We are seeing some very optimistic numbers there, but PGIA by itself will not get us to the threshold where we can see that Belize's tourism industry is healthy, back on the road to recovery. We need that element, that segment of our travel that comes to the land borders, because as I mentioned, the European traffic principally would use those as a means to visit not only Belize but the other parts of the region.
Sorry, Abel, if you could just update us there. You said some countries are on their way to the target and some countries have fallen short. Where does Belize rank? What percentage are we in terms of what is expected?
Well, we are anywhere between 20 to 25% back. So we are actually seeing our numbers being very positive for the summer, for travel, and even more so for the winter season that's coming, especially with the addition of airlift. So we are on our way, but when we run our projections, without the land borders, we will fall short about 10 to 16%.
This just in. Senior counsel Godfrey Smith, at the conclusion of today's arraignment, told the media that his client Jasmine Harton was denied bail. She remains in police custody pending remand to the Central Prison in Hattieville.
We're not going to give a statement today, but we're going to arrange to have a statement tomorrow.
In the morning?
I can't promise in the morning. We have to do some more paperwork. We'll aim in the afternoon. Okay?
Is there any way you could confirm anything today?
The charge is manslaughter by negligence. Bail has been denied. We appeal to the Supreme Court, as is normal. We will endeavor to talk to the press tomorrow to give some more details if we can. Thank you. Thank you.
If I may. What is...
Coming up, teachers to return to the classrooms and the leader of the opposition contrite after viral video. Don't go away.
Behind every great company is an equally fascinating story of how that business came to be. At Home Protector Insurance, we have one such story. In the early 1970s, Belizean-owned businesses were numbered. Few had what it took to face the challenges. But in 1974, one Belizean man, Norman Moore, faced that challenge head-on. September 4th, 1974, at number 45 Pickstock Street in Belize City, Home Protector Insurance came into existence. With a humble beginning of only 5 employees, Home Protector has blossomed to now having over 50 dedicated staff members and 28 agents countrywide. Through hard work, sacrifice, and determination, Home Protector, a Belizean-owned company, now offers multiple insurance products and has expanded into one of the foremost insurance companies in Belize. Innovation and drive will lead us into tomorrow.
eCash, powered by Belize Bank, makes payment and transfer faster, easier, and more convenient than ever before. I'm John, and I'll be telling you why shopping with a digital wallet is more secure than shopping with cash or checks, and ways you can ensure that your financial information is always secure and private. eCash makes use of modern encryption technology to ensure that your data is always protected. The data is converted into random set of characters, and the amount of time and computing costs it takes to break modern encryption is near impossible. Your digital wallet is accessible through your mobile device, which employs a variety of security measures such as PINs and passwords, as well as biometric protocols such as your fingerprint or facial recognition, just to name a few. These same protocols protect your digital wallets from hackers and possible theft. If your phone gets lost or stolen and you didn't protect your phone with a PIN, no need to worry, as your username and PIN are required to access your digital wallet. With this in mind, be sure to never share your PIN and password with anyone, even with your friends and family. One of the fundamental benefits of using eCash is that when making purchases, it conceals all your banking information. Think about it. When you make a payment or transfer to someone else, do you want them to be able to see all your banking information? With eCash, your bank account is never exposed since you never pay directly from your bank account. All funds must be transferred into the wallet before you can make purchases. This greatly reduces the amount of risk even if your PIN or password is compromised. eCash also delivers superior accountability. Unlike using cash, every transfer and payment is logged and timestamped in your wallet and can be viewed at any time from your device. It's like having a personal accountant by your side for all your transactions. This, coupled with instant payment, puts you on top of all your finances. No more waiting for your transfers to clear through the banking system or for your payments to be reflected in your account. Rest assured that your eCash balance is always your true balance. While eCash, powered by Belize Bank, was developed with multiple layers of security to make the customer's experience safe and secure, there are some measures that you can take to make sure that your digital wallet is more protected. Always ensure that you download your eCash app from Apple or Google Play Store. Use a different PIN and password for your eCash wallet, which is different from those on other apps or devices. PIN is required upon login to the eCash app. However, if you forget your PIN, you will be able to recover via password. If you forget your password, you will be able to recover via correctly answering your security question. Never share your PIN and login credentials with anyone. Similarly, never lend your phone or device to anyone. Always review your transaction details before confirming payment or transfers. When sending transfers, always ensure to select names from your mobile phone book or type the phone number of the person you know. Transfer money to trusted sources, persons, or retailers. Never accept transfers you don't recognize or expect from numbers you don't know. With eCash, you and your transactions are safe. It's the same wallet you currently have, but better and more secure. The digital payment revolution is here, and it's time to jump on board and welcome the awesome advantages that eCash has to offer for everyone.
In November 2020, Belizeans, tired of the past administration's uncontrollable corruption, overwhelmingly voted for a change. It is not merely a change in party that is needed, it is a change in our system of governance. Teachers remain on strike because we believe that Belizeans have not received a satisfactory response from GOB. Imagine that it took 2 weeks of industrial action to budge the government to start the process of legislative reform. GOB should see this cut as an interest-free loan that can be repaid at a later date. We deserve to be placed at the correct pay scale after 3 years. Otherwise, the loss will be massive. Why should you go to the minister to get a scholarship, a job, or land? Why is it that the minister's friends and family members get all the high positions? Do Belizeans really have no talent? Why is it that the corrupt past ministers are living off the hog? Remember, Belizeans, teachers were always got to know back. This is not a fight against the PUP. This is a fight against a system that has allowed our people to be trampled over and over. True solidarity for Belize. BNTU.
Times have been challenging. Some days we feel vulnerable, scared, alone. The uncertainty of the future for our families lingers in our minds. But times like these brings out the best in all of us, revealing our resilience and strength, and bringing us together as a people, as a nation. Through partnership with the National Bank and Government of Belize, Digi developed its mobile pay solution, a safe, reliable, and convenient way for approved applicants of the Belize COVID-19 cash transfer program to collect their approved funds at any Digi store or National Bank of Belize location countrywide. Digi wants all Belizeans to know that you are not alone. We remain committed to delivering on the promise of advanced technology and innovative solutions that benefit Belizeans, instilling the hope of a brighter and better future amidst these challenging times. We are here for you.
Leader of the opposition, Patrick Faber, is tonight apologizing to the nation for a viral video in which he is heard acting aggressively towards the mother of his 2-year-old daughter. In the home surveillance footage that was leaked on social media, there is a heated verbal exchange and then the sound of a slamming door. Faber says he believes his actions are unbecoming of a long-standing leader. And late this evening, he issued a video apology.
As a long-standing public figure, I think it my duty to act in a manner that is worth emulating by our younger generation who so desperately need such examples. I regret to say that a few weeks ago, in circumstances that I will briefly describe, my actions were not fit to be emulated. I allowed myself to react in a manner that certainly did not live up to the tenets and ideals that I embrace. Those who know me know that my children mean the world to me. I have strived over the last 16 years of parenthood to be all that I can be for my children. Spending time with them, therefore, is never something optional or something that anyone has to remind me to do. A recent change in my relationship status has created circumstances that I feel have unjustly kept me away from my 2-year-old daughter. It is my hope that the situation can, in short order, be remedied in the court. On that day in the video, I allowed my emotions to get the better of me, and for that, I am truly sorry.
The Public Service Union has a new president and 5 newly elected executives. The vote for a change of leadership took place on Saturday in Belmopan during the PSU's 99th annual general meeting. Dean Flowers has been chosen to lead the union for the next 2 years, succeeding Gerald Henry, that is, who did not offer himself for a second term in office.
We concluded the day's events with elections, and there were, I believe, 6 posts up for elections. That was the president's post, the first vice president's post, the second vice president's post, the general secretary post, 2 councillors, and a trustee. The winners, or those chosen and elected to lead this organization for the next 2 years, were President, myself, Dean Flowers, Sister Anissa Perdomo, who was, Sister Anissa Gonzalez, who was elected as the first vice president, will only serve for 1 year, and that is because I was serving in that capacity and I vacated that post after a year of serving there. So her term will come to an end at the next AGM. As General Secretary, we saw Sister Tricia Perez going uncontested, as did myself. For the councillor's position, Sister Agnes Novella of the Belize City branch and Sister Amada Carrillo of the Corozal branch were elected. And Brother Pablo Gonzalez of the Corozal branch was elected trustee. So that kind of sums up the events of this weekend, 99th AGM of the PSU.
The strike by the Belize National Teachers Union and the PSU has been placed on hold, as teachers are expected to return to work on June 1st. While the BNTU is preparing a legal challenge against the Briceño administration, the Public Service Union maintains that the trade dispute with government continues. It is not clear whether the salary deductions from teachers who participated in the industrial action may have been a deciding factor for them to return to their classrooms. What we know is that the motion to deduct the 10% of salaries from teachers and public officers was read in the House on Friday. We got PSU's position from this new president.
Nothing really changes other than the strategic direction under which I am hoping to carry the union. Where the current impasse with the government is concerned, the mandate remains the same. At Saturday's meeting, that was one of the major decisions, and that was, as has been stated in our press release, that the trade dispute remains very much alive, and that branch chairs, based on the requests from their branch membership, are free to engage in any legal form of industrial actions that they see fit. And so where our trade dispute with the government is concerned, we continue with our work to rule, we continue with our go slow, and where membership makes the call, we continue with strike action. So nothing has changed where that mandate is concerned, and nothing has changed where the existence of a trade dispute remains very much alive, and until such time that it is resolved peacefully or amicably, either via the Labor Dispute Tribunal or via negotiations with the government.
PSU President Dean Flowers admits that the docking of wages as well as the 10% salary cut may have deflated the momentum of the strike.
To a certain degree, but I'm very proud to say that despite government's decision or declaration that that would happen, that even up until last week and even up until the AGM this weekend, you had those true unionists who have the conviction that they're standing for something today or else they'll be subjected to worse in the future, who are saying the strike action continues. And pretty much, Jules, being cognizant of exactly what you're saying, that in fact this could cause adverse financial constraint or reaction on our members, we have said to our members, based on your mandate, we will continue with our trade dispute and we will keep it alive with the government until such time it is settled. Where strike action is concerned, we will not move to mass mobilize membership at this point in time. However, branch chairs, liaise, communicate with your branch members, and where it is commendable or where the numbers are showing that in fact effective strike action can be implemented, please do so.
After the break, if your vehicle license needs renewing this week, you will want to make sure you go to the right place. Paul Lopez has some changes at the traffic department when we return. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
This COVID update is brought to you by Belize Medical Associates. This COVID update was brought to you by Belize Medical Associates.
How is electricity sourced, transmitted, and distributed? We'll explain how we get power to you safely for your everyday use. BEL purchases most of the power you use from independent power producers in Belize and Mexico. The energy we provide to customers comes from a mix of renewable and non-renewable sources such as hydro, biomass, fossil fuel, solar, and a combination of sources from CFE. More than half of the energy produced in Belize is from renewable sources, making Belize #1 in the Caribbean and #2 in all of North and Central America. So how does this power get to your home? High voltage electricity moves for long distances from where it is generated along transmission lines that deliver to substations countrywide where the voltage is reduced. The lower voltage electricity is then transported by power lines to transformers on your neighborhood utility poles. The transformer further reduces the voltage so that electricity can make its way into your homes through your meters. How are electricity rates determined? The Public Utilities Commission, PUC, sets electricity rates on a cost recovery basis. BEL projects the amount of electricity customers will need and the cost of buying and distributing it. Together, BEL and PUC use these projections to do a full tariff review every 4 years and annual reviews. The public is informed of these proceedings, so they have a say. The rates approved by PUC reflects the total cost of BEL to serve customers divided by the entire amount of electricity used by customers. If projections are too high and result in overcollection, rates are reduced going forward. When projections are too low and result in undercollection, rates are increased in future tariff review periods to recover losses. If we buy power from producers that cost less, we can charge less. This is why we are focused on securing new, cheaper sources of energy like solar power. What other solutions do we plan to introduce soon? AMI or smart meters. These provide real-time information on consumption and empowers customers to manage their bills. solar energy. We are looking forward to adding solar generation to our mix and offer rooftop solar PV to reduce costs and improve reliability. Electric ground transportation. We aim to convert 50% of ground transportation in Belize to electric. By learning how to read your meter, you will better understand how you consume energy and how your monthly bill is determined. Manage your energy use by conserving wherever possible. We continue to serve our customers by keeping you updated and making it easy to reach us anytime from anywhere, whether it's getting information about our programs, connecting new service, providing options to pay your electricity bill, or reporting a hazard. We are always here for you.
Welcome to Nazarene High School. You can apply today. Application fee is only $15. Completed forms must be submitted at the office at Nazarene High School, Princess Margaret Drive. Get your applications from the various primary schools in Belize City at the Nazarene High School office on Princess Margaret Drive and at the Nazarene High School Facebook page. Documents required: Standard 4, Standard 5, and Standard 6 report cards, and recommendation from principal or Standard 6 teacher. Nazarene High School, educating the mind morally, spiritually, and academically.
Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Getting your vehicle inspected and taking your driving test in Belize City just got a little easier. Beginning today, the inspection site has been relocated, and there will be a computerized version of the test. This morning, Belize City Traffic Department held a brief event to introduce these changes and talk about upcoming improvements to their headquarters. News 5's Paul Lopez was at the new inspection location and has this report.
The Belize City Traffic Department inspection booth just got an upgrade. Drivers used to have to visit this small wooden booth on Johnson Street to have their vehicles inspected before their license were approved for renewal. But after today, motorists will no longer be confined to this small, congested area. The department's inspection booth has been relocated to the Marion Jones Sporting Complex.
Moving to Marion Jones provides us well, not just us, but the residents of the city to come somewhere where it's sheltered. Prior to our move, the residents were exposed to all the elements of the weather out there. When it was raining, people had to stay in their vehicles and wait. And when the sun is out, standing up in the line out there. So it's more convenient for residents to access the service here. And in addition to that, there's more space, so it provides for better testing on the part of the inspection officers that do the inspections out there.
The Belize City Traffic Department is also taking a more progressive approach when it comes to their driver's license tests. Residents will no longer have to sit through a handwritten test before acquiring their driver's license.
The test is no longer handwritten. It is done digitally. When you go to the department, you are given a username and password. You log into the system and you sit and complete the test digitally. So there's a screen and you tap your answers, and at the end of doing your test, it gives you a real-time grade. So you no longer have to wait that couple days before you can go back and see how you performed on the assessment.
Simultaneously at today's event, Belize City Councillor responsible for traffic Albert Vaughan spoke about upgrades to the traffic department's building on Youth for the Future Drive.
When I was appointed councillor, what I found out was that
the place was a bit drab. This is where the citizen come in and pay their taxes, pay for whatever service they need from the council. And I had believed that no, it should be better, not only for our customers, but for people working there as well. If we demand from our officers out there to go out there and enforce and come in here and work, then the place should be properly, suited. And so that's what we did. We did a renovation of the whole place, where we painted over. We got the air conditioning that was not working. We got the old files out of the building and into their proper places. And we enlightened people. That's what we did.
And while these upgrades may provide better services to those who utilize them, residents are still left to endure long lines outside the traffic department. Digitizing these services may eliminate these long lines. Mayor Bernard Wagner agrees.
Our management information system and technology continue to work towards digitizing as much of our work as possible. And clearly the facilitation process of application, we want to look at how we can digitize that. Our team continuously to continue to work feverishly on that, and we feel that within the next year or two we'll be able to bring all of those other services in a digitized fashion.
If you look at the building right now, we have cemented the driveway, and so that would be our next step now, is to look at how we can get some covering so people don't have to be in the sun. Because of COVID, because of the protocol of COVID, everybody can't fit in the building, so you have to work along with us until we get that. But that is coming, that is on the agenda.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Mayor Wagner says the cost for implementation of all three projects amounted to an estimated $25,000. We also asked Mayor Wagner about the flow of the tax revenue coming into the Belize City Council. He says hard times mean it is harder to collect taxes owed, and the provision of services will suffer.
Tax collection has been way below average, way below average. Sometimes myself, I have to really look at how we will get through the dark days of summer. I call it the dark days of summer, the July, the August, the September. Residents' expectation remain the same. They want infrastructure, they want streets. They call you about canals, they call you about drains, they call you about streets. But the reality is that things are hard, and so what you expected 4 or 5 years ago in terms of infrastructure has to be curtailed and has to be brought down, because there are different priorities now. People concern is about the residents' concerns is about putting food on their table, and so the priority of paying property tax is way down the list. And that is the reality that we face, and that is the reality that the residents at some point in time will have to grapple with, that there is just not the resources there to fix every drain, to fix every street, to dig every canal. It will not just be there. So we will have to really temper our expectations as residents and also as a council.
The hurricane season is upon us, and as we have reported, the Ministry of Infrastructure and Housing are currently working to see to it that Belize City residents experience relief from annual flooding due to heavy rainfall. The works include the upgrades of the East and West Colette canals, as well as the draining system on some of the main streets that connects to the canals. But the project, which began in 2017, has been drawn out, and downtown residents are complaining about the foul stench coming from the canals. Mayor Bernard Wagner says he has written to the ministry asking for a timeline for the completion of the project.
As you may know, the CVRP, the Climate Vulnerability Reduction Program, has been an ongoing program. It started actually in 2017 prior to the 2018 elections, and it involved different components, right? It focused on Orange Street, Dean Street, and King Street, because those were some of the hot spots in respect to flooding. And it looked at how they could do a design of the redesigning of the drainage in that area, so that it so that they are connected. The drains are supposed to be able to connect to the canals and the canals to the river. And when flooding do occur, those sluice bridges that you see being constructed right now will automatically be put on, and then the pumping station begin to pump the water out of the city. As it is right now, the construction of those sluice bridges require that the dam portion of the canal, we have since written a letter to the Ministry of Infrastructure and Ministry of Works to ask them how long will this process be, because we understand the implications of those canals being dammed, and when flooding start to occur and when rain begins to come later on June, July, we don't want to see that type of flooding.
A dispute between bus operators in Ladyville Village came to a violent head this morning. A woman bus conductor for Los Lagos Bus Service says she was physically attacked by two men from Serranos. News 5's Paul Lopez has the story.
I was sitting at the bus stop by myself. Nobody was there at around like 12:15, 12:20, sorry, maybe 12:30. I wasn't checking the time like that. And a Serranos bus that marked out of service came, and it picked up his bus was waiting by the Shell and picked up people and dropped it to the bus. I didn't do anything. I just had my phone out playing game, and a man that was on the bus with him came off and was saying a lot of things to me. I wasn't paying any attention to them. I just letting them talk. The bus came back. He jumped on it, and when the bus came back around and parked a little by the bus stop.
Monima alleges that the proprietor of the bus company proceeded to physically attack her at the bus stop shed.
He came out of the bus and he was blaming me for something I didn't even do, about breaking off his mirror. I don't even drive the bus, I only conduct. And he was like, I broke off his mirror, so I have to pay for it when I will pay for it. And I sat up straight because his body language instantly showed he wasn't just coming to talk. And he came, the other man came, I guess Mejia is his name, I don't know his first name, but that's his last name, came. And Serranos walked up to me and started punching me in my face. And my phone dropped, and Mejia picked it up, and I watched Serranos. While we were fighting, afterwards I just stepped back and I gone to pick up my phone. Mejia picked it up and was saying, oh, you want this, and throw it to your boss. But it dropped, and I gone to pick it up, and they pushed me. While I was fighting, they was telling me, why I not be a man? I was like, I'm a 22-year-old female. How I will be a man? Or how I consider myself a man?
Tanisha Serrano, the wife of the owner of the Serranos Bus Company, counters that Monima's employer has been provoking her employees.
Actually, no, I don't really know what happened at the bus stop this morning, so I can't say for sure about that. But all I know that we are having conflict with this bus service from Los Lagos. I do not want to call name. But for over 5 years, we've been going through so many things with this person. We have been through so many court cases. Right now, we're in court with this young man for assault. And then he has his conductor out there at the bus stop. Provocation on a daily basis. This young man, he sent out so much WhatsApp messages, so much threats. He do to us. We go and report it to the police department. We go to report it to the transport department. Nothing. All they say, they will look into it.
The doctors at the Ladyville Health Center classified Monima's injuries as harm.
As harm, because my face is just hurt and my left arm is swollen, and I was bleeding from the mask, but it didn't show anything. And it's sad what happened because 2 men beat me up like one man, and the police said that just by the medical report they were charged me by, which is just harm.
The reports of what's transpired this morning is alarming, in that allegedly one of your bus drivers and a conductor, so a bus driver and a conductor, allegedly assaulted a young lady. Is there anything that justifies this type of behavior?
Of course not. Of course not. And as I said, I was not there, so I do not know what happened. But as I said, this young man from Los Lagos Bus Service, he only wants to take one thing and make big thing. That's the way how he do it. And the thing is, I don't know, because it seems like he could get away with anything he wants to do. His road service permit said that he's supposed to go to the bus terminal, and he do not go to the terminal. What's so special about him? I do not know.
If you come to find that perhaps one of your driver or conductor is in fact in the wrong here, would they be reprimanded?
Of course, definitely, because I don't play that.
You don't play that?
No, definitely.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
When we return, threats in a WhatsApp group land one teacher with charges. Details when we come back. Stay with us.
What is climate change? Climate change, or global warming, as defined by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, is said to be the process of our planet heating up. The Earth has warmed by an average of 1 degree Celsius in the last century, and although that might not sound like much, it means big things for humans and wildlife around the globe. Rising temperatures is making our weather more extreme and unpredictable. Some impacts of climate change in Belize are flooding, drought, unstable weather patterns, and changes in seasons that affect agriculture, human, and wildlife activities. What is REDD+? REDD+ is a mitigation activity to reduce carbon emissions and increase carbon stock in the forest sector. The name REDD+ stands for Reducing Emission from Deforestation and Forest Degradation, plus Conservation, Sustainable Management of Forest and Carbon Stock Enhancement. How can REDD+ be a solution? Trees breathe the greenhouse gases we produce. We can start caring more for our forests by planting more trees and keeping our landscapes intact. Our forests are part of the solution. Also, by encouraging the adoption of sustainable forest management in Belize, we can help restore forests that have been lost.
Forests are linked to all aspects of human well-being. Think about the clean air that forests provide, that oxygen that we breathe. If it wasn't so clean, especially during that fire season, we would actually be facing a lot of problems. So breathing clean air is something that we may take for granted, but it's actually something that forest provides and that contributes to our health and happiness. One of the advantages of doing things associated with REDD+ in Belize is that it actually is a great mechanism for us to be able to maintain forests while at the same time sustainably using them and keeping all the services and goods that the forest provides to us intact, for example, water. At night, it's the trees and the plants in the forest that actually release that water that goes up in the atmosphere and eventually comes back as rain. If we don't have forests, that water is gone. If we think about our food security and the food that we eat, the agriculture industry and how important it is for Belize, we don't necessarily associate it sometimes with actual forests. But it's those forests that actually feed the soil organisms that cycle the nutrients and make our soils fertile. It's those forests that are a house and home for pollinators that pollinate our crops. And it's those forests that maintain the water that our agricultural areas need to thrive. Otherwise, we would be subject to things like droughts.
There is hope with REDD+.
St. John's Credit Union.
Have you ever fallen delinquent on your loan payment? Don't know how to get back on track? Bounce back with St. John's Credit Union. Get 10 to 50% off interest and fee when you pay your arrears in full or make suitable payment arrangements on your account. Members who take advantage of this offer get a chance to enter a raffle to win fabulous prizes. Members are advised that this offer ends September 30th. Some conditions apply.
St. John's Credit Union Limited. Safe saving, smart borrowing.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
Police have arrested and charged a teacher in the north for threatening messages against a government minister and their families. The teacher, identified as Rigoberto Rivera, was slapped with a charge of use of threat after he made the comments in a BNTU Corozal WhatsApp group. Here's more from Commissioner Chester Williams.
The teacher was detained in San Joaquin Village, Corozal District yesterday after a number of text messages were sent to us that he had shared on a blog with other teachers. And in those posts that he had sent, he was sending threats to ministers and a family of ministers, and to some extent was trying to recruit other persons to join him in that cause. Actions such as those cannot be countenanced, and as a department we are investigating it. He is in police custody and he should be charged for using threatening words. We're also looking at the possibility of charging under the Cyber Crime Act, because I do have provisions where a person would make any threat or whatever against another person. And so we're looking at that to see how we go with the investigation.
A man was killed in Toledo over the weekend. On Saturday, just after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, police were called out to Jacintoville, where they found the body of Joseph Guy. He was last seen alive a few days before his body was discovered.
Upon their arrival, they observed the apparent lifeless body of Joseph Guy, 47 years, with apparent cut wounds and bruises to his body. The scene was processed where the body was removed to the Punta Gorda Community Hospital, where it was pronounced dead on arrival. At this point in time, we are seeking two persons whom we believe can assist the police in this investigation.
Police say that they are following several leads but don't want to divulge why Guy was targeted. 4 persons were each hit with a drug charge after police found 2 parcels of cocaine at their house in Corozal. ACP Joseph Maivet of the National Crimes Investigations Branch tells us more.
Police conducted a search at the residence of Angelina Gomez on 7th Avenue, Corozal Town, which led to the discovery of 2 parcels of suspected cocaine with a combined weight of 2.193 kilograms. Present at the time was Miss Gomez, 70 years old, Idelfonso Gomez, 41 years, Miriam Oliva, 46 years, and Miguel Oliva, 23 years. Those persons have since been arrested and charged for possession with intent to supply a controlled drug.
Just ahead, there will finally be a new machine at the passport office. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Available now at Bravo Motors.
We do our best to get the information shared on vaccines so you can make that decision. We aim to be accurate and timely and will continue to do so for the development of our people and this country. We've lost too many of our loved ones to this disease. Here's the chance to protect ourselves and our loved ones. I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine. I will take the vaccine when it's my turn. Get vaccinated, Belize.
It is my time
to protect your life.
Don't wait to vaccinate.
I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine.
Do not hesitate, Belize. Vaccinate. Be COVID-19 safe.
The vaccine is the best way to protect lives.
Don't wait. Vaccinate.
If you care,
love them,
protect them,
vaccinate them.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800-A-WAY-OUT or our cell phone number, 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize, with funding from the Engender and Spotlight Project.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
On Friday, government introduced a motion to allocate funds for the purchase of a new passport system. The existing machine is outdated and is in dire need of replacement. That's what Prime Minister John Briceño said when he presented the proposal in the House of Representatives. The new passport system, which will come equipped with blank passports, complete with a machine-readable microchip, will cost a pretty penny. $10 million over the life of his administration.
The present passport system that the UDP left us with is obsolete. It's falling apart. There are no parts for it. There's no servicing for it. The cameras are not working. They're telling us sometimes you have to take 5, 6 pictures for it to be able to get one good picture. Our citizens living in the United States and living in the UK, in other areas, they could no longer apply for a passport. They have to come all the way to Belize simply because the UDP government was not prepared to do what is right, which was to upgrade the passport system. Now we have to be using this money to upgrade a passport system that is absolutely necessary for us to do. We can't hold it back no longer. And it's going to be a modern system. It's going to be expensive, no hell. It's going to cost about $10 million over the next 5 years. And it's going to cost that much also because it will include the blank passports that we'll be getting.
Former President Gerald Henry did not contest the recent PSU elections. In fact, his colleagues in the union say that he lost the confidence of its membership. Henry, on the other hand, alleges that he was being undermined by his own executive. It made for a tumultuous relationship between the union leader and his executive that resulted in statements against the union, including an audit report on the expenditure of the Belize City branch of the PSU. Incoming President Dean Flowers spoke on the internal issues.
In my view, I think the statements that have been made are not only misleading, Jules, but they're reckless, coming from a past president, and they're also prejudicial to the interests of the Public Service Union. And I will end my comments on his statements to that extent, because clearly it will now be a matter for the Council of Management to address the official report, which presents fairly the financial position of the Belize City branch, which she presented, not what was presented by the branch chair, which she presented. And the second report that she disseminated is that report that we're now referring to. So we're not disputing that she produced both reports. We're saying she produced one officially, which cleared up all that nonsense that she wrote in her report, and which sadly a past president who clearly, Jules, is embarrassing himself and very bitter because he couldn't get the support of membership for a second term, is out there now, as I stated. It's really a sad situation, because he's my brother, and I need to treat him as a brother in this union.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.